So, today we'll be talking about self-invested personal pensions, also known as SIPs. I mentioned before I'm not the biggest fan of acronyms and just jargon in general. I may slip up a couple of times and say SIP, but today we are talking about self-invested personal pensions. Today I'm going to go over the benefits, how they work, and why they're a popular retirement planning option. And as I always say, although I used to be a financial consultant and I am currently a fintech engineer, I am only offering information. I am not giving advice. With a self-invested personal pension, you're now empowered to control how your pension is invested. So you can make active decisions on your risk tolerance, what sorts of investments, whether it's stocks, bonds, property. These decisions are yours. This is one of the things that makes a self-invested personal pension flexible. See, it didn't say SIP. Now, I want to talk about one of the benefits of a self-invested personal pension. You are able to tailor your portfolio to match your risk tolerance. So what I'm not going to do right now is compare and contrast a self-invested personal pension against other options. What I am going to talk about is the benefits of a self-invested personal pension. So with these self-invested personal pensions, you can either make regular contributions or ad hoc contributions. These can be lump sums or just some extra money you have at the end of the month that you want to throw in there. An important caveat to having a self-invested personal pension is knowing your own risk tolerance. I'm not going to say that this is more or less risky than other investments, because the truth is, you have control of how risky it is. Depending on the investments you choose, this can actually be a very low risk investment vehicle or very high risk, because you choose the investments that are in your portfolio. Self-invested personal pensions are often associated with retirement, naturally, because we're talking about pensions. Now, it's very important that you align your self-invested personal pension with your retirement goals. The two should go hand in hand. You need to look at your own personal retirement timeline and make sure it matches what you're doing with your self-invested personal pension. Now, at this stage, you're probably wondering, how do you even get a self-invested personal pension? It really is a tongue twister. The way you get a self-invested personal pension is up to yourself. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can use a company such as PensionBee, where you can just open one up. You can do it through an independent financial advisor, or you can do it through your bank as well. There are a number of different ways. There are also dedicated apps that have this facility, and I'll link some of those below in the description. Let's talk about taxes. So, like other pension plans, a self-invested personal pension does have many tax advantages. For example, any contributions you make to your self-invested personal pension is eligible for tax relief. So I want to explain how the top-ups work when making a deposit into a self-invested personal pension, and how certain tax bands you can also claim further tax relief. Here in the UK, we have three main tax bands: basic rate, higher rate, and additional rate. If you are a basic rate taxpayer, you're taxed at 20%. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, you're taxed at 40%. And if you're an additional rate taxpayer, lucky you, you're taxed at 45%. When you earn £100, you pay 20% in tax. That means you take home £80. And if you put that £80 into a self-invested personal pension, the government will give you a top-up of £20 directly into your self-invested personal pension, essentially returning that 20% tax you've already paid back to you. The reason the government is making this contribution is because you've already paid these taxes. So what's happening is the tax that you've paid is being returned back to you. Now, the same thing happens for a higher rate taxpayer as well, except you've only received relief on 20% of the tax that you've paid. Of course, you've paid 40% tax on a portion of your income because you're on that 40% tax band. So what happens now is you're able to claim a further 20% tax relief on your contribution. 20% of that £80, which is £16. Now that doesn't go directly into your self-invested personal pension. Instead, that will be returned to you in one of two ways. Either it will reduce any tax liability you have, or you will receive it as a refund at the end of the year, because you'll be refunded on any extra tax you've paid. And with an additional rate taxpayer, they may be eligible to claim as well, but when you earn over £100,000, again, lucky you, that does affect your personal allowance. So with that in mind, you could claim a further 25%, and that 25% of £80 is £20. One benefit that I must mention is the fact that your investments will grow tax-free. Let me say that again. Your investments will grow tax-free. So now we've covered most of the key aspects of a self-invested personal pension, also known as a SIP. I may slip up a couple of times and say SIP. So, what a SIP gives you is the ability to make... I've done it already, haven't I? A SIP, this is one of the things that makes a SIP. Now, I want to talk about the benefits of a SIP and what... I've done it again, I've said SIP. What I am going to talk about is the benefits of a SIP. At this stage, you're probably wondering, how do you even get a self-invested private pension? Perfect. Oh, see, I didn't say SIP.